Hey there. Wow. Hello? Can you hear me? What is this? Where am I? You're in a lab inside the SIBA unit. Your memories might be a bit fuzzy, but relax. You're gonna be okay. Yeah, I recognize the base, I think. Wait. You look funny. Ha. Oh. What was that? I wanted to laugh, but I'm like indifferent. I think you're on some meds. What? What for? So you don't panic when you wake up. Why would I panic? I'll explain later. Right now, let's check your mental condition, okay? Do you think you can, introduce yourself? Sure. Can you? Okay. My name is Yana Dольskого. Yeah, sure. You got my looks, why not use my name too? So you think you're Yana Dольskого as well? What kind of bullshit is this? What's your role on the mission? I'm a senior technician. Want to tell me what your role is? Imitating human crew members? Is this some kind of sick experiment? Because if it is, nobody warned me. In a way, it is. But you're wrong about one thing. I'm not an imitation. So, what's the experiment? Well, I got stranded in this base, and, I needed someone to help me move it, because it got broken. Then, okay, this is the crazy part. I learned that there's this functionality of the quantum computer on board to, create alternate versions of a person's life. What? Replicate a person, but with different experiences. Mind records. Man. If there's anyone in a bad mental condition in this room, it's definitely not me. The QC's only functionality is to navigate these junkets. I mean, theoretically, it could do other stuff, but such bullshit? I know. It's absurd. I thought the same, but here you are, right? Right. If I understand you correctly, you're telling me you're an alternate version of me with a different mind? Sort of, yeah. And, you said we were stranded. Yes. It's just us. Like I said, there's a malfunction in the machinery. If you don't help me fix it soon, we're both gonna die. So, wait. Let me get this straight. This is an experiment in which you're a different version of me, and this version of me woke me from cryosleep to help fix a malfunction because there's no one else on board. What if there was no malfunction? Where would I be? You'd still exist somewhere? Theoretically, at least? Theoretically? Wow. You bastard. I can see now what the meds are for. I can't even lash out at you, just this Passiveness. What am I? Look, this is a lot, and we'll sort it out, I promise. But trust me, if we don't fix the machinery fast, we're gonna go in a very bad way, and you'll never get the chance to understand this properly. Experience your feelings without the meds. I don't like this kind of pressure. Well, that makes two of us. Fine. Show me the way. Unbelievable. What a screw up. A 3-year-old would have figured it out. Okay. In any other case, I'd say don't touch anything here ever again. But unfortunately, this is a two-man job. On my sign, pull that lever over there. Just don't yank it like an idiot. Pull it gently. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now. Yes! It worked! You did it. We're gonna live. Let's get one thing straight. I did what you created me for. Now stay away from me. Hey there. I said, don't come near me. I get it. You're angry. I would be too. But I could really use your help. You know, if we manage to get the comms room running properly, we'd probably be able to get out of here faster. Stop pretending you have any idea how I feel. I don't give a damn about your comms room. We're moving, aren't we? Now get out of my face, creep. You're pissed off at me now, but deep down, we both know you do the same thing. Really? You said it yourself. We might look alike, but we're different. Like oil and water, if you ask me, and they don't mix well. Maybe. But you won't last long without me, just as I couldn't make it without you. In a situation like this, hiding in a trench is just plain stupid. I'll tell you what's stupid. Listening to someone who created you because he needs a fucking tool. Why don't you get yourself a repair kit and fix your own shit? I'm done doing your dirty work. Hello?
Mr. Dulski?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Are you okay?
I think so. I was almost done for it, but then I got these crazy instructions to duplicate and edit myself. Was that you?
Yeah. It's called branching. The duplicating and editing thing. I need to know if you pulled it off.
Really? And I need to know who I'm talking to. I didn't catch your name.
Lucas Pena, Space Traffic Control, Orbital Substation L7. Now, the branching. Did you do it?
Yeah. I created my altar. Thanks for the help, I think. Is this even legal?
You found Rapidium, Mr. Dulski. We needed to act.
So, you're getting me out of here, right? You know how to do it. Safely.
Sure. First thing I'll need you to do is to transport the base to a safe and accessible destination. I'll dispatch the coordinates to you. Second thing, do you think I could see this altar of yours?
That's not a good idea. He's pissed off at me, won't cooperate.
Then we have a problem. You won't manage without his help. The base needs more hands on deck. There should be a way to gain his trust. Show him you care, maybe?
I told him I wouldn't survive without him.
Yeah, that's just words. Maybe you should share something.
What? Why?
I don't know. Just a thought. My grandma used to say, sharing is caring.
Yay. Let me think. What can I share with him? My playlist?
Yeah, true. Wait, suppose it's not about what you can share with him, but what you already do.
A big chunk of life, I guess. Till we branched apart. I wonder what he thinks about why his life went in a different direction.
Yeah, mind records. See? You are so spooked by them, they could be a source of information.
Fine. I'll check them out to see what happens.
I'll get back to you as soon as you reach your destination. Don't worry, you're in good hands. L7 out.
I've been thinking about what you said. You're right. We are different. Sure we are. Like, I got that right away, and you took your sweet time. I'm serious. You stood up to Dad. I didn't. Oh, really? And what did you do? Just stand and watch him take it out on Mom? I thought about stepping in. I was always a heartbeat away from doing it, but when it came down to it, I'd just freeze. Guess I was afraid of making things worse. Yeah, I remember the feeling. But then I reached a breaking point. Looks like you didn't hang around long enough to reach yours. Or maybe I was a coward. Going to college was a good excuse to just get away from it all. Oh, so that's where our paths split. Did you shine out there? Were you best in class? What do you think? Huh? Yeah. I build around this merry-go-round. That's who I ended up being. Sorry to disappoint. Why would I be disappointed? Just proves I was right to stick with Mom. Wait, is she maybe still around here? No. I wish she was. She always knew what to do and how to cheer you up. Hey, when you were down or Dad had just stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind him and leaving you crying in your room, would she ask me to help her make pierogi? Her famous pierogi. Oh my God, I could really pig out on those. And making them together was fun. Fun. Yeah, wow, why don't we go for it? Why don't we try and make Mom's famous pierogi? No way we'd find the ingredients here. Why not? There's grease. I also saw a packet of useless fungicide lying around somewhere. Yeah, hilarious. I can pull it off. You'll see. But there's one condition. You're eating them with me. If you die, I die. Why not? Won't change much, I guess. Famous Dulski pierogi with an interstellar twist. What do you think? Well, Now I know how Mom must have felt. That day she had a terrible flu and I decided to cheer her up and make pierogi for her. Right, yeah. I put like a ton of salt into the filling. And I overcooked them into a shapeless pulp. They were inedible. But you remember what she did? Uh-huh. She ate them all and never said a word. No, she said they were delicious. Yeah, you're right. So, they're delicious, man. Shut the fuck up. So? Are we cool now? Cool. Do you mean did I come to terms with waking up as tech support for my doppelganger? You might have to give me something stronger than dehydrated dumplings to wrap my head around that. Now you're being mean. I went through a lot of trouble to make those, and they weren't that bad. You made an effort. I'll give you that. But see, that makes it even worse. It would be easier to hate you, but eating those fucking pierogi with you, I actually enjoyed it. So did I. Sharing these memories with you, knowing you understand me, that was kind of comforting. Are you getting mushy with me? What? No. Okay, just kidding. I know what you mean. I'm just not the sentimental type. Who's being sentimental? All I said was... All right. Just tell me what the plan is. The corporation is supposedly on top of this, but I know better than to put my life in the hands of pen pushers. Oh, I hear ya. You never know with those numbskulls. Right. So, until the rescue ship arrives, we'd better watch our own asses. Do they know about me? Don't worry about it. Leave the politics to me. Gladly. Tell me you know what to do. Of course, it's simple. We need to stick together and stay away from the sun. Well, there's one thing you should know. This base is a resource-consuming, maintenance-heavy sucker to operate. I have you to help me. That's not gonna be enough. I'll be blunt with you. If you want to survive, you're gonna need more people. People? What people? The Rapidium's there. Use it. Make more versions of me. Versions of us both, you mean? Huh. That almost sounded like we're planning kids. You need to work on your cooking skills, though. Actually, I can't wait to branch myself again. Sure, take the bull by the horns. Good luck keeping him happy.
Jan, can you hear me?
Lana? Lana, is that you? What are you... How did you find me?
They let me know. Agatha, my boss, came to see me and said you could use some support. Are you all right? I heard about your crew.
Yeah. Everyone's dead. But I'm fine, somehow. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, I know. Is it true you found Rapidium?
Yeah, I did. It looks amazing. So much more beautiful in real life.
I'd love to see it. And you back in one piece, of course. I think the board is genuinely concerned for your safety. What the hell happened out there? How did you survive?
I'm not sure. Something strange. Everyone died in their landing pods, except for me. I don't know why. It's really weird.
Oh my... That does sound so unbelievable.
Even more unbelievable to hear from you, out of the blue.
I know. It's awkward for me, too. We haven't spoken in a while and suddenly this. I just hope... What's the plan for getting you out of there?
There's a guy called Lucas Pena. He's handling it, apparently.
Someone from STC?
You know your way around.
It's been a couple of years. Look, is there maybe anyone from outside the company you'd like me to get in touch with? I mean, to let them know?
No. There's no one.
I didn't mean to get personal. You know what? Why don't I ask STC to keep me in the loop? And to keep an open channel for me? If you want that, of course.
Yeah. I'd like that. Thanks.
Good. Take care then, and talk soon.
Hey, were we supposed to stop here? Nope. It's way too early. Don't tell me something's wrong with the base again. Not on my watch. Systems are working fine. Something outside then? Yeah. Don't jump in your suit already. I'm kinda starting to like the inside of our base. All right, I'll take a look around. So much stuff you need to take on exploration. Batteries, drills, detectors.
Hey,
Preparation
man,
must
we
feel
talk.
like a second job. Something you wanted to discuss with me? I wanted to congratulate you. On what? Having a smart me on board. Seriously? Yeah, I flipped through some manuals while you were sitting on your hands. Looks like we had the base operating in minimum maintenance mode. Oh? Yeah. But I played around with functionality options and, hey presto, we got some new handy toys unlocked. Tools in the workshop and such. Wow. Oh, thanks. I can't wait to check them out. No problem. There's also some upgrades available in the building module. Sound like something you like to play around with too? Sweet. We could do with some improvements here. Sure, but don't start fantasizing too much. Remember, everything costs resources. So, wherever we are and however long we're staying, it might just be wise to see if we can set up a mining outpost instead of relying on shallow deposits. Just in case. Sound advice. I'll consider. Hey, I found this. I brought it on this mission, but thought that maybe it could mean something to you too. My lucky old multi-tool. No wonder you took it with you. This little baby never ever let me down. Yep, I thought it might come in handy. Of course, every man of the house should have one. It sure helped me feel like one when the time came. Thanks, man. This is why we stopped. A lava river. Plan B then, I guess. We'll need to figure out if there's a way around. Wonder how many more surprises this planet has in store.
these loose rocks look like they might be passable. If only I had a tool to drill through them. You want me to take care of this?
About time. I'm in some deep shit here.
So you're not at your destination yet?
I'm stuck. We're stuck. There's a freaking lava river blocking our way.
Do you think you can cross it?
I don't know, still working on it. Anyway, you can help me?
I can try. I have a limited view of the surface of your planet, but there is one thing you could do.
What's that?
You have a lot of very useful tech on board that base. It's designed to overcome practically any obstacle. All you need is a properly trained crew, if you know what I mean.
More altars. Is that all you have for me?
You still don't get it, do you? That's a lot. If it helps, I have some news for you. Good news and, well, just news.
Hit me with the good news first.
A rescue party is being organized.
Organized? You mean they're not on their way yet? What the hell are you waiting for?
Mr. Dosky, please, calm down. No matter how long the procession, it will always end up in church.
What?
Just the thing my grandma used to say when I was a kid and tired of doing my homework.
Except this is not about your homework.
Sure. But you gotta understand, your mission got dispatched pretty far away. We still haven't mastered teleport.
So, what's the other news?
Well, I know you have a lot on your plate right now, but there's a request from my boss directly. Before we get you out of there, we want you to retrieve as much rupidium as possible.
Figures. They don't want to lose their chance. Probably worthless to your higher-ups without rupidium anyway.
It's sure gonna give your rescue mission wings, if that's your kind of incentive.
Of course.
My boss will want to speak to you shortly. And you'll see how important it is. He's not some kind of empty three-piece suit, if that's what you're afraid of. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but it was his idea to, you know, let you in on the branching procedure. By the way, is your altar doing any better?
Yeah. We're getting along pretty well now. Thanks.
That's very good to hear.
Is this about you wanting to talk to him again?
No. No, none of that. My boss put it out of my mind. That's not to mess things up even more.
So, you admit it's a mess.
What? No, we just... You know what? I'm not commenting on that. Talk to my boss about it.
What's gonna happen to my altars back on Earth?
I don't know. I'm sure my boss will think of something. He always knows what to do.
You either really trust him or you're very good at not saying anything.
Maybe both. I'm not a natural talker.
Ever tried working on it? You know, with a professional?
Not really. But my sister wanted to be a therapist and she practiced on me when I was 5.
Oh? And how did that go?
She turned to breeding hamsters. I hope you're not laughing.
Your family seems interesting. Got any more stories about them? I was the only child.
Wow.
Tell me more about this boss of yours. You mention him a lot.
He's the head of mining operations. Great mind, very open. You'll see. Doesn't normally do this, you know. Talk to people on space missions in person?
Oh, I feel so blessed.
You should. He saved your life, in a way.
Okay. I better get back to work then.
Yes. Just remember about the Rapidian, Mr. Dulski. And wait for contact from my boss.
Hey, man. Can we talk? Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am. So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much Rapidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough? Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. Good. That's good. Wait, how do you know? Well, isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which can only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found Rapidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wow, you're right. That's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information, and that's the interesting part. Yeah, our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board, but there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions. With the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now? Why don't you rest a little? Get accustomed to the new reality? Which part of what I just said makes you think I'm not ready to start immediately? Well, in that case, your situation must be critical considering the lengths you went to. Something tells me there's no time to lose. You're right. Why don't you start with...
Going through the mission logs. I need to get the full picture first.
my thoughts exactly. Good. This might work. What's up?
Whoa, you look tired, man. Everything okay?
I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with sleeping on the floor?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Of course not. You have your cozy captain's bed.
All right, no need to be so dramatic about it. I'll get you a proper dorm.
Sounds like a promise.
honest, we're missing a few rad filters.
Awesome. Another movie. Where my stuff landed here?
I'm also Jan, obviously. This will never not be weird. Anyway, make yourself at home. Cheers.
Hey, I built that dormitory you asked for.
Hallelujah.
I hope you sleep well tonight.
I'll sleep like a full-fledged member of an advanced civilization.
Sweet dreams, then. Hey there, buddy. How do you feel? Oh, been better, that's for sure. Oh, what is this place? And shit. Who are you? Disturbing, isn't it? Yeah. Your voice, what's going on? We'll get to that. Just let me ask you some control questions first, okay? Sure. Fire away. Do you remember your name? Yeah. Jan Dольский. And what's your role on this mission? I'm a refinery operator. Oh, you look like me, but also not like me. Are we brothers or something? We're much more than that, genetically speaking. We're the same person. Genetically speaking? Whatever you're trying to tell me, stop beating around the bush, okay? All right then. You're my alter. I created you with the use of rapidium. Rapidium? Yeah, we did it. It's here. Wow. You hear that, Ben? Ben? What Ben? Huh? Oh, never mind. Hey, wait. What was that you said about creating me? Look, you've obviously still not recovered from the shock. Why don't you rest a little and read the mission logs? They'll put it in perspective. We can talk more when the meds wear off. The meds. Yeah, that explains a lot. Not everything, but I feel like there's something more to this feeling of being so light, weak, you know? Just relax and take it slow. You'll feel stronger in no time. Okay, yeah. Maybe. And hell, I can't wait to see Rapidium. You will soon. I promise. So, how are you? Settling in all right? Settling in is overrated. I analyze reality from wherever I am, however uncomfortable the angle. There's always an observation to be made. I'd love to hear what you managed to observe. This place is not run optimally. Yeah, I know. I wasn't trained to command a mission. But now that you're here, with your experience, I'd love to pick your brain. Do you think you could mentor me? Good thinking. First of all, you need to set long-term goals and draw up a roadmap for each of them. Remember to include all unpredictable variables in the equation. That way you can have contingency plans at the ready for each instance. All right, slow down. Prioritize resources. Do not waste time on idle conversations with the crew. Hide the booze. Don't be cheap on coffee. That's slow enough for you? Hey, you've just crossed out every team-building exercise on my list. The people are there for the mission, not the other way around. Truth is, I really wish we could make use of the tech I worked on for all these imaginary years. It would make things so much easier if it existed. So what exactly was your research about? Nanotech in space exploration. We went from a humble startup to making headlines in a few months. Taking our solutions to the front line was my dream come true. The data we could bring back. You had big plans for it. Well, now it's all gone. Turning it over in your head won't get you anywhere. You should focus on the work you need to do here and now. I never thought I'd say it, but yes, you're right. Let's get Rapidium back to Earth, and maybe later, we'll see. Good. I noticed we're missing a few rad filters. Resolve this. So, had enough time to come to terms with the situation? I'm fine, thanks. There's not much that can bring me down. But I still feel much weaker than usual. Funny, earlier today I tried to lift a container and I couldn't. Maybe it's the side effects of cryosleep. Don't worry, you'll get back in shape in a jiffy. I don't know. I need to put on at least 15 pounds by the looks of it. Plus, no offense, lose the excess fat too. I'm not sure we have the time for that here. Operating the refinery requires stamina, you know? Being strong seems to matter a lot to you. A little extra confidence never hurt anyone. Not that it was ever my priority. I just like the physical activity. It helped clear my head of problems. Your problems are gone here. It's a chance to wipe the slate clean. Maybe, but I still can't get my head around one thing. What's that? Like, if everything that happened to me isn't true, then does that apply to the people I knew too? I mean, do they exist, but in some different version as well? I have no idea. This quantum mess-up is really confusing for me as well. Yeah, but theoretically, it's not impossible for someone who, for example, would be dead in my mind to actually still be alive?
Theoretically?
Totally.
Theoretically, everything's possible.
That's overwhelming. Shit. I think I need to get my mind on something else.
Good idea. Focus on the work. We still have a lot to do before we get out of here.
Right. Work. Sure. See you around then.
Hello, Jan. Before you head out, make sure you have all the important equipment.
System is a state-of-the-art
telling you, we need it.
And I'm telling you this is the least important of our priorities. You have got to be kidding me.
something I want to share. Hi there. Hey there. You wanted to talk about something? Yeah. I've been thinking about the branching thing. It's so confusing. Tell me about it. I mean, remember how I told you about my body? The one I know versus this one? Well, I don't get it. Why is it exactly that we're created with different minds, like, you know, different beverages or snacks, but then we all end up in the same packaging? It doesn't make much sense. Well, it's not the packaging that matters most, it's the content. That's what they say. But you don't brew ale only to pour it into plastic bottles. My skills, my whole personality derives from a certain lifestyle, and that makes my mind and body inseparable. That's how it feels to me. Huh. I never looked at it that way. I know, and honestly, I find it a little hard to understand. I mean, how can you be so careless about your body? It's the only one you'll ever have, man. Why'd you let it become so neglected? I guess I just couldn't be bothered to make the effort. Funny. Now that I look at it, you probably didn't have my motivation. Which was? Well, for me, it all started when I moved abroad. You know, after Mom died, I decided to stay there, and for a while it was pretty lonely out there. Didn't you have friends? Not at first, no. You can laugh, but I was a little apprehensive to jump into a new environment. It was just work and sleep, and some bad eating habits. So that's when you started working out of boredom at first. Then, kind of became a fun thing. I made friends, started going out a lot, but by that time, the gym had become an important part of my routine. I drank less, slept better, and it just made me feel in control of my life, you know? I get you. Now that you've told me the whole story. Thanks. You know, maybe if I could get back to my routine here, at least in some way, it could really help me shake off all this anxiety. I'd probably sleep better, feel more like me. Do you think there's a chance you could help me get my hands on some exercise equipment here? I could try. Really? Thanks, bro. I knew I could confide in you.
Hello, Jan.
Looks like I'm done. Should I go there next? Hey man, I'd like to talk to you.